way that these State of the Nations reports have become a respected occasion in the political life of New Zealand. And while our reports don't exactly stop the nation, their release has become an occasion for us, citizens and political leaders alike, to reflect on the nature and extent of our social progress. We think the idea of measuring social progress is an important one for all New Zealanders. While some events, such as those of recent elections and referendums, are seen to be momentous as they happen, most of our historical progress is gradual, piecemeal, and continuous. This means, of course, that the importance of many historical events, or more accurately, historical trends, is only identified in hindsight. Sometimes something happens before we've even realised it, such as the gradual awakening by Pākehā New Zealanders to unresolved issues around the Treaty of Waitangi. So, social commentary helps us to gain a broader perspective on such changes and perhaps to reflect on the good and bad aspects of these. Social commentary also allows us to have an informed debate about social change. If it is truthful and balanced, it can expose misinformation and extremism within the public discourse. This is the role that we hope our State of the Nation reports play within the New Zealand's public discussion. We hope that these reports are seen as being balanced and objective, even given our obvious preference for social justice and our priority for the poor and the vulnerable. We've always aimed to offer solid, factual information in each of the State of the Nation's reports, and do so on a consistent and unbiased basis. We could choose to put a spin on this information or to present it in a positive or negative way if we tried to, but this desire to be plain, consistent and factual should not, and this year has not stopped us from being direct in our criticism of some parts of our social direction. This year's State of the Nation report is titled Off the Track, because we believe that we are at risk of going off the track on our journey toward a prosperous, just and peaceful New Zealand. As you will learn from the following presentation by the report's author, Alan Johnson, we believe that successive governments have singularly failed to seriously address child poverty, recidivism, and have taken insufficient action in providing affordable, safe housing for Kiwis. By any measure, we suggest that these trends cannot be read as positive social progress. For us within the Salvation Army, the state of affairs can no longer be excused as something that will be addressed by the once various policies to be worked through. Some policies, we believe, are the antithesis of the type of social progress that we believe should be for all New Zealand. Such a proposition is, of course, very much open to interpretation and debate, and we look forward to this over the next few weeks. Instead of being able to have it, an informed, robust debate about issues of public importance is one of the best opportunities we have in this great little democracy of ours. We welcome your responses to this year's State of the Nation report, and I thank you on behalf of the Salvation Army for your presence today and your interest in our ideas.
Good morning, everybody, and I'm overwhelmed by the silence, to be honest. Every year when we write the State of the Nation report, we have to think about a theme, and sometimes that comes early in the process, and sometimes that comes very late. Sometimes I develop the idea, and sometimes people like Christina Tyson develop the idea. So, and sometimes it's really just a sort of this thing descends on us, and we think that's the inspiration that we've been looking for. And this year the theme is to do off the track. And there was a poem by a guy called Robert Frost, who is probably America's most favourite poet. And this is probably America's most favourite poem, other than that some stuff written by, what's his name? Faulkner, is it? Yeah. And it says, and right at the end, it's called A Road Less Travelled, and I guess many of you know it, right at the end, I shall be, in ages, in ages' time, I shall be telling this with a sigh, ages and ages hence, that I took a road less travelled by, and that made a world difference. And in some respects, it's the road less travelled by that many people latch on to as an idea. But for me, it's that made a world difference that makes the idea. And the choices we make in our life, and I think all of us can reflect on that, have a huge impact on what happens to us later on. And sometimes those choices are being made randomly or for us, and sometimes they're made deliberately, and sometimes they've been well made and well informed, and other times they haven't. And in many respects, that's the case with respect to our national life. That we make choices as a national community which have impact subsequently into future generations. And often we don't understand those choices until we see the results of them, where we end up as a consequence. And for us, we're suggesting that we are in danger of getting off the track. And the metaphor here is about walking in the New Zealand bush. And if any of you have been lost in the bush as I have, the track's really important. And sometimes, some would argue because of cutbacks and dock, the tracks aren't well marked and it's easy to get off the track. But once you're off the track, it's really hard sometimes to get orientated and get back on the track. And we're fearful that that's what's happening to us in some aspects of our social progress. So that's the organising idea for this year's State of the Nation report. And I'll just run through some of the key facts and then we'll have some Q&A after that. But firstly, I'd just like to acknowledge the apologies to these people. Many people have sent their apologies, many cabinet ministers and members of the opposition parties. And just to give you a context, in the past, our State of the Nation reports have focused on 5 areas of interest: our children, crime and punishment, work and incomes, social hazards and housing. And we're not going to move away from that format because you can say more and more about more and more things and not be clearer. So we're trying to be succinct and focus on these 5 areas. And within that, there's 23 indicators, which are other basis of the report that we've offered here today. And is available online, hard copy, and obviously the summary copy was a handout today. Let's start. I think the government has made it very clear that its agenda has always been to grow the economy, to grow the jobs and opportunities, and through that to expand income. And they've made it clear too that that's the agenda they're pursuing. And if you judge that agenda in its own terms, it's quite successful. There are now 300,000 more jobs in our economy than there were 5 years ago. And there's 2.5 million Kiwis in work. That's a historic record. And our labour force participation is nearly at 71%, which is unprecedented as well, and it's the third highest in the OECD. So there's lots of New Zealanders in work, and New Zealanders are hard workers. And it does show in terms of what's happened to our economy, and to a degree to what's happened to a broadly shared prosperity. For example, average wages over the last 5 years have risen 9% in real terms, and reached $987 per week at the end of last year. And that was up from about $904 per week, and inflation-adjusted dollars 5 years previously. And part of the reason for that is that our economy has grown. And in particular, even though we've had strong population growth, our economy has grown at a faster rate. So our per capita income has increased. And of course, that means that all things being equal, it's feasible that everyone's income increases, although it's not entirely to be guaranteed, because of course there are distribution issues around that, which I think we need to address, and will always be a point of some contention with the different political views that are expressed from time to time. But either way, our per capita GDP has grown 10% in the last 5 years to $55,000 per person. And that's an amazing thing if you think about what's happening in the rest of the world. that the economy has grown strongly. Much of that prosperity has been shared through income growth for those in employment. And we think that's worth celebrating, and certainly is worth acknowledging. But the reality is that other things have stuck. And in particular, the child poverty rates are much the same, most recently as only in 2015, as they were 5 years earlier, 10 years earlier, sorry. And we sometimes get into arguments about definitions of child poverty. We sometimes get into arguments about a 2% change being significant. But if you take the longer historical context and you look at a number of child poverty measures, not much has changed. So for us, we're saying, look, the economy has grown by something like 12% over the last 5 years. Incomes have grown by 10%, and yet there's no change in poverty rates. And the question is always that economic growth will be the panacea for addressing issues of poverty, but it does require something else. It does require, in our view, a deliberate attempt to make changes. And we believe the government just hasn't done that. And there's two reasons for that. The first is that that the welfare reforms have been successful in reducing dollar numbers, people on benefits, from around about 358,000 people in 2011 to just under 300,000 people in the most recent figures. So there's 54,000 fewer people, adults on benefits, and those 54,000 fewer people had 53,000 children. So 107,000 fewer people living on benefits than was previously the case. Yet, and the government says, well, that's proof that they're resolving poverty. Well, the other poverty measures suggest that poverty rates haven't changed much. And in fact, there has been no research that we can find by any government agency about what's happened to those 107,000 people. In particular, do we know if they're materially better off than they were when they were on benefit, or simply that their life has changed and become more risky and more precarious? And ideally, it would be good if we could have some research on that, so that we can say, one way or the other, whether or not that's an improvement or simply a change. And so that's the first thing. There's no evidence that welfare reforms have actually changed poverty rates. The second thing is that at the same time, the government has reduced the value of working for families by around $600 million over the last 6 years, from around $3 billion to $2.4 billion. And as you'll see on this graph, that is forecast to decline further $100 million over the next 4 years if we're to believe what was in the last budget. So what's interesting about that is that at the time that these cuts were made, there was no changes in poverty rates. That there weren't more people poor as a result of those changes. And in fact, what happened, well, the changes and reductions happened at the top end of the income scale. So families, and perhaps some of you are amongst those families, that were just on the threshold of receiving families actually lost that entitlement, and so took income reductions, or at least didn't receive the income increases that they would have otherwise have had. And it hasn't affected poverty, which in some respects is a good thing. But the other token is that we've saved $600 million a year, and we could have actually reinvested that into relieving child poverty. So for us, and the issue of the sort of entrenchments of child poverty is we believe a policy failure. We don't believe that it's simply a case of waiting for things to come right. The economy has grown, poverty rates haven't changed, and we've had the opportunity to make a difference, and frankly, we've chosen to do that. Looking at crime, and I just noticed today I was doing an interview with Guy Nespina just earlier today, and he was highlighting the front page in the Dominion, talking about the rising crime rates. And we've tried as best we can, based on the data that's available, to estimate what we might call a headline crime rate. We used to have headline crime rates, and now that the statistics New Zealand Police have changed the way they report crime, which I think are useful innovations, but it doesn't give you a headline. But on any account, the headline was, I think, a little bit misleading. You had a figure, but whether the figure was anything like a real figure was highly misleading. In part because, as we all know, probably half of crime or more is not reported, and that which is reported, 43% in the last survey, suggested that that wasn't even reported by the police. So the figures that the police report are often just a small part of the total crime picture, and I think all of us know that. But that gap then causes us to believe things that may or may not be correct. And in particular, this rhetoric that the crime rates are increasing. Certainly, the evidence that we've offered in the report, based on data that was released in September would suggest that crime rates, by and large, are similar as they were before. That there has been some increase in violent offending, but some of that could be due to the fact that there's more that violence is now being responded to in a different way, which we think is good. So for us, there's no real evidence that there are increasing levels of crime. Certainly the numbers of adults being convicted of offences have declined 29% in the last 5 years. Yet the prison population has grown, or the prison numbers of people being sent to prison has declined slightly, but it's starting to rise. This graph shows you the numbers of people being convicted of offences, the adults, and then the bottom line, which you'll see there, there's a number of people being sent to prison. And you can see as a proportion that we're sending more people convicted of crimes to prison. And in most recently there was 2,800 people of around 64,000 people convicted in prison. And one of the things that we find most daunting and most disappointing is the fact that our prison population is reaching new record highs. It will reach 10,000 prisoners sometime in the next few months. What's interesting too is that as recent as 2.5 years ago, the Ministry of Justice was forecasting that the prison population around now would be about 8,000 people. So there's been a sudden spike in the prison. And you can see why. You can see this is the graph of monthly prison population over the last 10 years. And this is what the prediction was from the Ministry of Justice 2.5 years ago. So there's been this huge jump in what we would suggest was unplanned for prison numbers. Some of that's due to increasing numbers of people on remand. 60% of the growth over the last 2 years is due to the fact that more people are being arrested for offences and not getting bail and staying on remand for extended periods of time as the court system, which seems to be choking cases, works its way through. The other thing is too, and I'm not certain whether it's in the report but not on the slides, is that the parole board is being more cautious about giving prisoners early release. And in addition to that, it seems as though there are people are getting to receive longer sentences. So we're effectively becoming more punitive in the way we respond to the criminal offender. Some of that's been explained, and there's no evidence of it, but it has been explained as being about increasing seriousness of the offences, and in particular the relationship of that offending with methamphetamine use, which was highlighted in the report as being a major concern. And in addition to all of that, the government announced in September that it was allocating a further $1 billion to build another 1,800 beds. And by any measure, the fact that we're locking up more people can't be seen as a social progress from our view. That is, it's an admission that something is wrong with the way we're dealing with things, and we're asking that maybe we should reflect on that as a society. And it's disappointing, I think, that much political rhetoric on the way up to the lead up to the election has really been about law and order and about more police being tough on crime. And we're not suggesting that's unnecessary, but we are suggesting that we should have a more balanced debate. And in addition to that, the government sets some, I think, quite ambitious and courageous targets around reducing reoffending and re-imprisonment in prisons. It's clear that those targets won't be met. In fact, by most measures, recidivism and reconviction and re-imprisonment rates for these prisoners are much the same as what they were 5 years ago or 10 years ago. And I think that we have to accept that it's really, really tough to get prisoners to change their behaviours. But we think some of the fault lies not actually in the effort the government is making, because it's spending more per prisoner than it ever has spent on rehabilitation and reintegration. But we think some of the models for doing that are flawed, and in particular the question of support for prisoners once they leave around jobs and housing possibly is lacking, and ideally that's where we should focus. And we certainly wouldn't discourage the government from spending as much money as it does already on rehabilitation or reintegration. And it's really clear to us, given the remand population that's already in prison, prisons, that the population of sentenced prisons will rise over the next 2 years. So there's a real challenge immediately to actually do better and to do more if we are to try and reduce those recidivism rates. One of the things that we've looked at is housing, and we're disappointed really that although the government has struggled with various initiatives to respond to housing, the impacts are unsuitable. For example, we believe that the housing shortage in Auckland was exacerbated by about another 5,000 housing units over the last year. That is, that Auckland's built 10,000 houses, but really should have built 15,000 houses. And now things in Auckland are heating up, but the reality is that so is the population. And we're seeing that being represented both in terms of rising rents and in terms of rising house prices. These graphs plot what's happened to rents relative to incomes over the last 5 years. And what you see, and I've tried to represent various colours of football teams. So the blues here is Auckland. And the amount of money of the average wage to pay the average rent has risen from around 14 hours to nearly 16 hours over the last 5 years. And in that city, rents have risen at twice the rate of incomes. And we think that's one that flows back into issues of child poverty and the need for more expansive family support programs. Because as most people know, if we are tenants, particularly if we have tenants who are in our family will know that rents are being squeezed even here in Wellington now. Some parts of New Zealand rents aren't rising, certainly in Christchurch, rents have fallen relative to incomes. And that's probably to be expected with a slowdown in the rebuild. The reality is that across New Zealand, rents tend to be rising faster than incomes, which of course then means that households struggle, particularly those households that often spend up to 40% of their household income on rents. At the other end of the housing market, those of us who are well established enough or wealthy enough to own a house, we've of course seen a real bonanza of what's happened to our largest personal asset. In Auckland now it takes something like 13.7 years of the average wage in that region to pay for a priced house. And that's up from 12.1 years 2 years ago. Even in Auckland, and accounting for the fact that Auckland weighs heavily on the national average, there has been increasing inaffordability of housing. And so, the housing bubble, if you own a house, is good, as we've said. Whichever side of the ownership divide you're on, depends on how you see that has been a good or bad thing. But we believe that the government really needs to take account of that. And in particular, for this reason, that is distorting our economy. If we look at measures of our indebtedness, and these two graphs plot, the top line plots the debt as a percentage of disposable income, and that's risen from around 140% to 160% over the last 2 years. And the Reserve Bank continues to warn us about those settings, saying these make those households quite vulnerable to changes in interest rates. But if you actually think about it, not every household owes money on a house, because not every household owns the house. If you're a tenant household, of course, your level of debt is going to be a lot less, because you don't own anything to offset that debt. And many households, particularly older households, of course, own their house without much debt. So really what we're talking about is this exposure to about a third of households, that they are quite exposed to the debt that's been accumulated over the last 5 years. And that is a source both of distorting the economy, because we allocate more of our resources to housing, but also in terms of the risk it poses for those households if things change for them. So in summary, we think that the government's growth agenda can probably be judged as being quite successful in some terms. However, for example, it has raised incomes for most working New Zealanders, and it certainly has increased the wealth of New Zealand. The question we'd ask is that there's probably about 1 in 10 or 1 in 12 New Zealanders who are being left behind, and in particular people who live on benefits. The child poverty rate, whether it's 8% based on hardship measures or 20% based on income measures, has changed little over the last 10 years. And we're concerned that this has become the new normal for New Zealand. This is what it's like in New Zealand. And we don't believe that there have been any identified policies that make a difference. The prison population continues to rise, and even though crime rates fall or are at least static, and recidivism rates remain intractable, we believe that's a great disappointment. And finally, the housing indicators all pushing records. It's quite concerning that we're in uncharted territory in terms of what this means for our economy and our society. And whether it's good or bad news, it seems critically on what side of the ownership divide you are. There's lots more in the report. I'll leave it to you to read and to critique and to comment on. At some point in the near future too, we will have on our website all the spreadsheets on the data behind those, so you can look at where we've got the figures that we're representing in the graphs and the commentary. But once again, I thank you for your attendance here today, and hopefully you get something out of the report. Thank you.